Well, we're excited to get back out there and play tomorrow against another really good opponent. Ohio U, very well coached team by Saul Phillips, does a great job. They're a team that's very talented offensively and defensively. You look at their numbers, I think they're really going to challenge us with moving the ball. They drive the ball a lot. They really test your vision. They share the basketball. They're a team that heavily relies on twos and getting to the free throw line. So they're going to test us, at different positions. They have one traditional post player. I think all their other guys are more perimeter-oriented guys where they really drive the ball. So our guys are really going to be tested in that manner. They have one specific player in Jason Carter, who I think he was injured last year. For him, but he is as talented as any players that we've seen to this point. He's about 6'8". He's from here in the state of Ohio. Tremendously skilled, can score it, drive it, pass it, knows how to play. He's 6'8", but he's very mobile. I would think that he's going to be a first-team All-League player for them. We got to do a great job of meeting that challenge. And they have another kid, Tavion Kirk, who was all-freshman team last year in the MAC. He's a point guard, about 6'3", 6'4". So they have great positional size. That they'll match up well with us, and we know that. And I think these 2 days of practice leading up here, we got to get ourselves ready for a big challenge.
Because they're kind of similar to you guys in that they like to play inside out. They're not as much of a perimeter team. How do you prepare yourselves for what they're going to bring? Like, how do you attack them?
I think number one, we have to really try to improve our talk on defense, because I think. With our group, I always say you can hear a good defense, not just see it. And that helps with the connectivity on the defensive end. And the only way you can talk is if you know what's going on, though. You have to know the system. And I think our guys are getting better. And the more comfortable that we have a lot of new guys that continue to learn the system, I think that'll help us with our vision. Because when you talk off the ball, you're more apt to be focused, not lose focus, which we do. And sometimes actions aren't beating us in games right now defensively. I think honestly, it's just lack of focus off the ball that leads to a bad closeout where you get beat off the dribble or a wide open rhythm three for their opponent. But we've been really trying to work on vision, being in the right spot, talking, guarding without fouling, really showing our hands. And we're even trying to use like tennis balls in our hands. Again, you can't use your hands on drives. You really have to show your hands. Jason Carter's, he's top 20 in the country in drawing fouls. We got to keep him off the foul line. And it's going to be a great challenge. He does it every single game. Every other opponent, they obviously emphasize that, but he finds a way to get there. And so does Tavion Kirk. He draws a lot of fouls. So we got to do a great job of, again, guarding without fouling and then staying focused off that ball with our vision.
Where did you get the idea for the tennis balls? Is that something you've had for a long time in your...
No, Bo Ryan used to do it at Wisconsin. And, his teams are known, obviously, when he was the head coach there, for not fouling. They never got called for any fouls. And they just did a really good job, and they still do. Great guards, so I'm sure he still does it. They always show their hands. They body you with their lower body and not your upper body, because one of the big points of emphasis is hand checks. And again, a referee sees a hand on a guy immediately on a drive, automatic foul. Whether it's a little advantage or a big advantage doesn't really matter. It's just a big point of emphasis that's been in college basketball the last 3 years.
Does Carter remind you of anyone that you've played already this season?
Not really. Shannon, like he's mobile like a guard, but he's big. He's 6'8", every bit of 225. He's a big kid, and he's just so quick. He can really drive the ball. We got our hands full with him. He is a really good player. He doesn't take a lot of threes. He can shoot, though. It's just he's so good at driving and making plays. That's his bread and butter, and we're going to have a big challenge.
So you got Elias back from his illness, but now Q's under the weather. Do you think he'll be back anytime soon?
It's kind of day-to-day here, hour to hour. I don't even say day-to-day. It's, because we got a game tomorrow. But, we're just going to kind of go see how it goes. He's not going to practice today. Again, we're trying to get him better, though. Dave Fluker and Matt Jennings are trying to really work with him to get fluids and take his medicine, make sure he's eating, as well, so he has energy. But it's going around, and it's probably not just our team. It's all around the community, it seems, right now.
I think OU turns it over something like 16 times a game. Do you feel like that's an area where you can kind of exploit them and create some more opportunities for your offense?
I think so. I think again, like a lot of ours, and it's like I've told our guys, we don't gamble off the ball. We create turnovers on the ball. which there's a big difference. And because gambling off the ball leads to open threes and open layups. You know, you got to pressure the ball. And even though, again, like you're going to look at the Kim Palm numbers, they're going to say, well, they can't shoot the ball. Yeah, they can shoot. They just didn't shoot well down in Jamaica. And I watched them against Marshall. They made a lot of shots. And, you know, so like they're capable of making threes. They just had a couple games where they didn't make them. So I know they can make shots. But we have to pressure the ball, whether, again, because a lot of fans and even coaches and players think, well, hey, a guy's not a great shooter. Well, I can play off of him. Well, all of a sudden, that makes him a great passer. That's like having a quarterback with no pass rush. So we got to have hands. We got to create deflections on the ball. I do think we can create a little bit of havoc with that. You know, they're playing a freshman guard who's a really good player. He really knows how to play. Preston, he has great feel. But we got to pressure those guys. There's no question.
You know, we talk about progress, and tomorrow night's another opportunity for you guys to get better. So what are you kind of looking for in the grander scheme of things from your team to walk away from that feeling like you guys progressed?
You know, again, I probably feel like I'm a broken record, but the intensity on defense and, you know, and when we hit adversity, I want to see our group grow a little bit tighter. You know, it's funny, man. It's like as you see, if you see teams kind of go through some adversity, all of a sudden the huddle becomes a little bit looser. You know, I want to see us get a little bit tighter. All right, we got scored on, or hey, you turned the ball over. I really don't care. Move on to the next play. That's toughness, right? That's mental toughness. Can you move on? And I want to see us grow up in that area. Grow up, obviously, in transition defense, which I thought hurt us against Oakland. I thought we were a little fatigued, though, there in the middle of that second half, and they got us about 8 straight points in transition. We've worked on that pretty heavy over the last couple of days, but I'd say it's more all bent towards the defensive side right now. Offensively, we're going to score. And again, Oakland, they did a good job zone. We missed some wide open shots too, though, and shots that I will absolutely take, that I feel like we're going to make. And we only took 15 threes, I think, against Oakland, and we got to the line 17 times in the second half against their zone, even though they were playing zone the whole time. We want to keep on attacking inside out, obviously, but we want to take good threes.
Last thing, did you get any insight from Sam Frayer on this OU team?
Sam wants to win. No, you know, he does want to win. You know what, he really has a lot of respect. I know that for Saul Phillips, but you know, again, he knows those players pretty well. You know, really well. I mean, he played with them and he was teammates with those guys, and so he's given us a little bit of insight on their, you know, personnel tendencies and stuff like that. But they change kind of year to year what they run offensively and defensively. But yeah, but Sam's, you know, the good thing about Sam is he can tell Tyreek or Najee, like, hey, Jason Carter is really, really, really good. And I think it's one thing coming from me or Jonas Hayes, who has a scout, but it's another thing from a guy that played with a guy like Jason Carter, Tavion Kirk, and the good players that they have.